This is First Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim that's out there teaching and preaching in truth and in sincerity. I'm the brother Bon Thalamai from the GMS Memphis camp, back with another quick lesson. And ultimately, I hope that this lesson is edifying to the elect. The title of this lesson is Stick to the Plan, and that's why I brought out that First Peter chapter 1, verse 13, because part of the plan is what? The beginning of the plan is to get ready for the plan, man. You know what I'm saying? Meaning what? Gird up the loins of your mind, get ready, get prepared. That's a part of this walk, man. You know what I'm saying? Being ready, like the old saying goes, stay ready so you never got to get ready, you know? And it's being ready for what, man? I mean, you can never be ready per se, but at least you can understand, be ready and understand what's about to happen so you don't bug out, so you don't lose your mind and lose your bearing as a man, because the scriptures say what? That, many things, men hearts will be failing them for fear, a lot of people will be, a lot of death, you know what I'm saying, will be going on. You got to be prepared for that. You got to mentally know, hey, these things are going to happen, hence the title of this, Stick to the Plan, because when all those things come to pass, you can't bug out. You can't lose your faith, you got to remain faithful, just like it's saying in Revelations, Revelations 2 and, matter of fact, let me get it. This is Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that's the plan. Be ye faithful unto death. Don't give up. Endure unto the end. This is stick to the plan. I Googled what does that mean to stick to the plan, and to stick to the plan in the Google, it means to keep following a set course of action without changing it, even when things get hard. So that means that don't get to believing in the Lord and trusting in the Lord, and then at the final hour you say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take that MOTB. I'm gonna go ahead and run to Egypt for help. No, stick to the plan. The Lord told us every step of the things that were gonna happen. He said, hey, in that day be ye as pilgrims in the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? So we might have to sleep under the stars, man. We might have to put those camping skills into play. You know what I'm saying? But through all that, stick to the plan. Don't deviate, and because deviating is what? Deviating off the plan is what? Going to Egypt for help, man. Taking that mark, that MOTB. Not trusting in the Lord that he gonna fulfill what he said he was gonna fulfill. Which was what? Come here and deliver the elect from up out of here. This is Psalms chapter 91, verse 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And where's the secret place? It's within these scriptures. That's a part of the plan. That's the plan to study, to to pray. Look at it like old Christian people used to say. I done had to pray my way up out of situations. That's a part of this too. Like the scriptures say, pray without ceasing, which literally means to never stop praying. Let me read that again. This is Psalm chapter 91, verse 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. That's the plan, to abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Call on the name of the Lord. That's important too. Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. You got to have that name. That's a part of the plan. Don't get far along in your learning and then deviate off the plan and start calling on Yeshua or JC. That's not the plan. The plan is to call on the name of the Lord. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is our job. This is how this is the plan. The plan is to fear Yahweh and keep the commandments, of course, to the best of our abilities, That's a part of the plan to get up out of here, Fear the Lord and keep his commandments, man. This is Matthew, because getting up out of here it's not as simple as just enduring to the end. No, you gotta stay on the straight and narrow. You're not gonna make it up out of here being an adulterer, living in an alternative lifestyle. You gotta stay on the straight and narrow. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Verse 14, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, man. So you got to stay on the straight and narrow. That's a part of the plan too, man. You got to stay prayed up. You got to fast. You got to study. What do the scriptures say? Study to show thyself approved. Matter of fact, let me get that. Yep, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, it says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, man. You got to be studied. You got to be prayed up. You got to endure. You got to prepare. You got to trust in the Lord. You got to know the name of the Lord. That's the plan. Fear the Lord. Keep his commandments. That's the plan. Stick to the plan. Don't deviate. Don't go left. Don't go don't say, hey, like I was speaking of earlier. Don't get weak in the spirit, man. Always remain faithful. That's what it said in Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. Remain faithful, and I will give thee a crown of light. Stick to the plan. Looking at the events that are going on, the wars and the rumors of wars, the earthquakes in diverse places. We see the signs. We very close to the end of this place, man. This place is circling the drain, man, and rightfully so. It's time's up, man. It's about time, man. This place is due to be destroyed. But us as believers, man, and ultimately, this lesson is to encourage, man, and exhort brothers to say, hey, man, stick to the plan, man. Because we know that the righteous are going to be saved. We just want to be a part of that. We want to be, we want to be in that number when the saints go marching in. So we got to stick to the plan, remain righteous. Fear the Lord, keep the commandments, and Lord willing, we are of that number. I am of that number. But I hope that this lesson was edifying, and I hope that it was encouraging. Until the next time, Shalom.